point of no return. We don't have a lot of time. So we have to act, all of us, we have to act now. When we met in April, we agreed to strengthen our efforts as we head to COP26 in Glasgow. Today, I've called us together again to candidly assess our progress. I'm grateful to those of you who've strengthened your contributions under the Paris Climate Agreement and put forward ambitious targets for 2030. And thanks to your leadership, countries representing more than half of the global GDP are committed to taking steps that will keep us within reach of our joint pursuit of limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. But we know there's still a lot of work to do. And if anything, our job, in my view, has grown more urgent. The countries representing the major economies forum account for 80% of global emissions. Without adequate commitments from every nation in this room, the goal of limiting and warming to 1.5 degrees slips through our hands, and that is a disaster. And here's what I believe we have to do right now, and what we're advancing here in the United States. We have to bring to Glasgow our highest possible ambitions. Those that have not yet done so, time is running out. For our part in America, I'm working to pass historic investment and to modernize our climate resilient infrastructure, to build a clean energy future that creates millions of jobs and ushers in new industries of the future. As part of this work, the United States is committed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions between 50 and 52% below 2005 levels by the year 2030. And we've set a goal that by 2025, our power sector will be free of carbon. And 2030, 50% of the cars sold in the United States, we believe, should be and must be electric vehicles. A further step we're working with the European Union and other partners to launch is a global methane pledge to reduce global methane emissions by at least 30% below 2020 levels by 2030. This will not only rapidly reduce the rate of global warming, but it will also produce a very valuable side benefit, like improving public health and agricultural output. We're mobilizing support to help developing countries that join and pledge to do something significant, pledge and seize this virtual opportunity. We've already taken big steps domestically to tackle these emissions and create good paying jobs, introduced by plugging leaks and capping abandoned wells and gas wells. We believe the collective goal is both ambitious but realistic, and we urge you to join us in announcing this pledge at COP26. Now, we also have to make additional progress to support developing countries. At the Leaders Summit in April, I announced the United States is working to double our climate finance, triple our support for adaptation by 2024 for developing nations. And I can assure you that we're looking for ways to go even further toward meeting the collective goal of mobilizing $100 billion a year from the developing world and for them. Our emphasis this year is going to be on building ambition on the road to Glasgow. Glasgow is not our final destination. Whatever commitments we make at COP26, we must all resolve together in Glasgow to continue strengthening our ambition and our actions next year and throughout the decisive decade to keep us at below 1.5 degrees and keep that within reach. That's why this forum, I believe, is so important. And it was an important driver in the Paris Climate Agreement. We got to continue to play a vital role going forward. At this critical juncture, the start of a decisive decade, I'd like to use this forum to forge a political momentum and consensus to drive concrete actions in 4 key spheres of energy: industry, land, the ocean, and I want to be clear, this forum will complement, not substitute for other forums. In fact, with respect to energy and industry, we will closely align our efforts with the work of the forums like the Clean Energy Ministerial and the Mission Innovation, both of which I'm proud to say the United States will chair next year. A plan to kick off these efforts by bringing together ministers in January to discuss clean energy goals in power, transport, industry, building sector. We also want to focus on ocean initiatives in advance of our ocean conference and next February. You know, I plan to convene a leaders level gathering so we can take stock of the collective progress we've made. In closing, and thank you for your patience, I want to again underscore both the urgency of this moment and the tremendous opportunity before us. I look forward to continuing this work together and hearing how you plan to contribute to the climate ambition the world so urgently needs. The time is now. The time is now. Thank you for your indulgence. I'm now going to turn this over to Special Envoy John Kerry, but thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for once again bringing leaders together to confront this profound crisis. As you've traveled our country in the past few days, Mr. President, visiting communities devastated by the climate disasters, all of us have seen your tremendous commitment to rallying our nation and indeed the world to step up to this challenge.